So round three is going to be size. And the same rule applies to the NECA video, which was the last video. NECA, SH Monster Arts, Bandai, Playmates. I want you to think of your favorite figure from those lines. Got it? How tall is it? 95% of people would have picked a 6-inch scale figure. And that's how big all of these Godzilla figures are. They are uniformed in one cohesive scale, regardless if it's intentional or not. To prove this, let's go ahead and bring in a figure from each company. Here's the NECA NES, the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2001, and the Bandai Creations Godzilla 2000 original version. And even though the quality difference of all figures is jarring, and of course, proportionally, some Godzillas might be different than others. For example, he is the bulkiest. They're all standing in a relative scale of shoulder to shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. And heads, even though again he's hunched over, they'd be all relatively about the same size. So it's basically kept tradition to keep all Godzilla figures in the 6-inch scale and in the 6-inch scale. That is something that the HIYA Toys figures don't do. Now, I know, it's like an inch difference. However, to a bunch of people that are going to be seeing a bunch of scale figures the same, and then they're going to see this bigger one, that's going to it's going to leave them a bit confused. At least for me, from my experiences. So, relatively speaking, even though, again, he's like 7-8-inch scale, which would fit well with figures like the NECA King Kong, the Super 7 line of figures, and maybe the bootleg Imperial as well, and even the Titan Deck figures. As far as 6-inch shoulder-to-shoulder scaling goes, the Playmates is the superior figure for that reason, and therefore gets the point in this round. Round 3 goes to Playmates. Round 4 is going to be accessories. Now, accessories, this is an interesting topic, so let's go ahead and discuss of what both figures have. Both, the HIYA Toys comes with the big Heat Ray, which is bigger than even that of the Playmates figure. It's almost as tall as, it's actually kind of taller than the HIYA, just by a smidge. Comes with an alternate jaw piece for the beam, and comes with an alternate neck piece for the beam. The Playmates has a smaller beam that's made of a much more durable material and has a piece of battle damage. Now, I know people might not consider the battle damage to be an accessory, but personally I do, because it's not only disattached from the figure, but you're supposed to put it on and then take it off. That's what an accessory is supposed to be. And even if it wasn't, it's a toy gimmick, which I'd still consider toy gimmicks to be somewhat of accessories, because if the figure lights up, guess what? It counts. So now putting the battle damage back on, hold on, got it, still had all the way, there we go. Which one do I overall think wins? Well, it is true that, here's the thing. Accessories are meant to liven up displays and make your figures look cooler. Anyone who has owned a collectible knows this. There's pretty much a lot of options. Well, not a lot, but decent amount of options for you and the Playmates. So you can stick the beam in, and you can just have them going to town on whatever, and you don't have to worry about this thing over time. Although, one thing to note is that if you take out and in, you'll start to notice, and this has happened to me, as you can obviously tell. Not sure if my camera will focus in. No, it won't focus in. But you can kind of see like a big black smidge right there. That is the paint getting scraped off over time, thanks to the fact that this thing gets getting pushed in, pushed out, pushed in, pushed out over time. So, unfortunately, that's something you have to keep an eye out for. I'm not going to show you how to do the HIYA beam thing, because I've already done that like a million times, thanks to the NECA review and my original review of this guy. So, if you want to just know how to, just to re-summarize, disattach this head and remove these 3 pieces. Make sure those 3 pieces are still together so you don't lose them. Put this on there. It's going to be like a big, long rod of a ball joint. Put that on there, and then put this head on like that so he looks like he's looking up into the sky. Take the beam and angle it like this. Shove it in this way, and then point, and then it should be pointing straight up, and boom, you'll have your Godzilla shooting it up into the air. Now, admittedly, yes, there is a bit of, well, back and forth as to how well that accessory is done as far as, like, the posing goes, because he should be looking straight up, but he's a bit too far angled this way for it to be actually true to the movie. But for what is there, I honestly gotta say, it's a close call, but I feel as if the overall execution of this beam is just done a lot better on this one. So the round for accessories goes to HIYA because of the quality of their accessories. So round 4 goes to HIYA. Round 5 is going to be price. MSRP, not aftermarket, not this person said, not that person said, he said, she said, that rule. MSRP, what we find on the market at retail price. He is $10, or to be more precise, just shy of $10. He is about $40 to $50, depending on where you get him. I had to pay like a good chunk of money for this dude, which was way more, but truth be told, he still caps out at about $40 to $50 before shipping. So with that being said, it's another slobber knocker. The round goes to the Playmates. Round 6, availability. And unlike the NECA one, we don't have to give this one a tie because both figures are being produced at the same time on shelves together. Kind of, as far as being on the shelves together. They're both being produced at the same time still. So who gets the win? Well, you already probably know who it is, but this dude has not been released to all that major retailers, I don't believe. And is mainly found at like comic shops and whatnot. He has been found at Walmarts, Targets, and even countries with Toys R Us still. So with that being said, major retailers like that, that's basically locked in the point for availability, so it has to go to the Playmates. And for the last round is going to be round 7, packaging. Now, I am not judging which box looks cooler because that would be done on the box showcase, wink wink. That being said, both boxes, like if I had to give like my honest opinion, I think this box looks cooler than that box. But as far as the collector consumers market goes, I actually think that Playmates wins this. Wait, hold the horses. Here is why. Let's say in the rare case scenario, you go into any store and you find these two on the market, on the shelves together. You know what this is and you know what this is. You're obviously going to want this one. But what about the quality specifically? Let's say there's like full stockage of both figures. There's like 6 of him and there's like 6 of him. You don't know what the figure itself looks like as far as the quality is concerned. Because what if I buy a HIYA Godzilla and it is missing an accessory? That happened with me in Mezco. They forgot the base to my Flying Hedorah. Let's say it's missing this neck piece, which is always a possibility. Let's say it's got a bit of a paint rubbage. Let's say paint's chipping off. Let's say. There's so much factors to get into about this guy because there's no clear window to look into. The Playmates, on the other hand, you can actually see everything because it's open boxed. And because it's open boxed, you can see its accessory, you can see how the paint on the eyes and the mouth look, you can see how the dry brushing looks, the claw paint looks. Basically what I'm saying is, if the figure doesn't have a clear window actually showing you what the figure itself looks like, because even Mezco has tried this now with their new Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla set, the 3-pack. They know that that's what collectors want. They want their good quality product. That's what they want. HIYA Toys, I keep spitting all over the place. HIYA Toys doesn't seem to understand that. And because of that, Playmates, you can actually see what you're getting, and this is more of a consumer-friendly box. Granted, this is reusable, but as far as actually going into store and looking at it, the Playmates wins it because of that sole reason.